Hello, you're welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you, or I'm going to be showing you how to use um, the information you get from your setups to to really plan your trade on MT4. And I'm going to be showing you how to do this on your MT4 on the phone. And of course, to really do this is not also difficult as if you're using your laptop. This particular trade, it's actually it's pounds against Australian dollar pair. That's GBP hot. Okay. Now we earlier in this group, we earlier dropped the setup here. So, and of course, just because we actually have our entry protocol, so we have to wait for our entry protocol to be fulfilled. So when we saw that we as using using the information on our entry, we actually we brought the setup here. Now it is actually GBP hot. So we said that GBP hot already gives confirmation, and the sell entry at so 1.76 and 17, and of course we have two different kind of entries depending on what people really want. But of course we have actually said that generally we prefer to use proximal to use the proximal line on the order block for our entry, just because not every time will price actually retreats to the 50% of the of the order block on which we actually using for our entry. But nevertheless, there are times that price will still come to the 50% of that order block. But basically we actually use the proximal. The proximal is actually the when you take your when you take the order block, your order block on the on the of the confirmation. Talking about the lower time frame now. When you get a confirmation on the lower time frame, the order block is actually what you are planning your entry and your stop loss with. Okay, so the proximal line is actually the place on that order block that is closer to the current market price, and the distal line, distal as in from the word distance, the distal line is actually the one that is further away from, as the part of that order block that is further away from the current the current market price. All of this is actually in the past tutorials. You can always check out those tutorials to really know what I'm talking about. So let's just pay attention to this. So we said our stop loss is going to be at so and so. Then of course we have to look at that stop loss from the perspective of pips. Okay, so that's because we're going to use this information to really to really plan what our position size is going to be. What size what lot size are we going to use. Okay, now we also spoke about the take profit points. On this particular one, we have about three take profit points for this particular setup. Okay, now the very first thing you want to do when you have this kind of information, before you go to your MT4, the very first place you want to go to is going to be your my FX book or FX hours. That is the first app you are going to use. Okay, now let's quickly take this. I'm going to tap the menu button, so that the menu on this app can actually come out. So I go to calculators. Okay, I'm going to click calculators. Now I'm going to change the currency pair here. I'm going to tap the drop down button, and I'm going to go to GBP called. That is the currency pair that we are actually trading. So now, what is my account size? Let's say, whatever it is that you have, the balance in your account is what you are going to use. Okay, that is what you're going to type in here. So let's say, for example, I have $5,000 in my account. Okay, so it said stop loss in pips. I've written it there that the stop loss in pip. I'm using the Proxima. I'm using the Proxima space, for my own. uh you this is actually from the Proxima, and I said that SL is 13 pips from Proxima. So I'm going to be using that 13 pips because I'm going to be making my entry from the Proxima. Okay, so I'm going to type in 13 in the stop loss in pips. Then of course, the next thing is that how much am I risking? Generally, i I risk 0.5% of this account. Okay, and of course, depending on the kind of accounts you have. Let's say if you have something really very smaller than, of course, smaller than this, you can actually be looking at like 1%, 2% of that account. You don't really want to blow off that particular account. So for me, I'm risking 0.5% of these accounts. And of course, if you don't know the ratio, if you don't know the ratio that you want to use, you can simply just just tap swap with money. Okay, swap with money. In other words, basically, when you are talking about this kind of this risk ratio, what you're actually saying is that I don't want to lose more than this amount of money on this particular trade. Okay, I don't want to lose more than this on this particular trade. I've actually done another tutorial on money management and risk management. Please go and watch that video again. So I've actually explained everything from the beginning. So let's say, for example, now I actually want to what I'm saying that I don't want to lose more than $25. Okay, on this particular trade. $25 is also 0.5% of 5,000. Okay, all right. So let's say I'm putting $25. you know I think for people who don't really work with ratio, you can simply just click swap with money, and just write the amount of money you are willing to lose on that particular trade. So all right, so the next thing you want to do is to just click calculate. All right, so when you click calculate, then you can see that the money you are actually risking is 0.5. all right, 0.5 of that particular account is the same thing as $25. It means that on this particular trade, I'm only willing to lose 0.5% of that account, and that comes to $25. Okay, all right. So what lots am I going to be imputing on my MT4? That is 0.28. 0.28. Okay, and that is actually the information I really need to take with me to my MT4. Now that I know the my lot size, then I'm going to head over to my MT4. Okay, I'm going to head on to my MT4. I allow this to load. Okay, now what I have here is actually NZ USD, that's New Zealand dollar versus United States dollar, and of course that is not what I'm going to be trading. So I'm actually going to the trade option here, the trade button. that is where you have something that looks like a SIM card with a plus sign inside it. So you're going to click that. All right. So since we are not trading New Zealand dollar against the USD, we are trading pounds against Australian dollar. Okay, so we're going to change the symbol, using this particular symbol sign. All right, this like dollar sign here, that is exactly what you're going to tap first to change it to pounds versus Australian dollar. So let me quickly check. Okay, I see it's there. All right. And since we are not doing market execution simply means that if you hit the buy or sell button here, it's going to execute your order in the current or the immediate price that at the time you click. So since we are not what we do with our kind of setup is actually we do limit orders. Okay, we do limit orders. So we're going to change the market execution. We're going to tap that. Then since we are actually selling, we're going to put sell limit. All right. So okay, so, the order is actually sell. Okay, so we are actually selling at 1.76117. 1.76117. Now this particular place here, that is where you're going to put in your lot size. All right, this is exactly where you're going to put your lot size. So what is our lot size that we got from calculating that again? 0.28. Okay, so we're going to get back here, that is we're going to put in 28. Okay, it means that if this particular hold or trade did not go or does not go in our favor, we are just going to lose just $25 out of that 5,000, $5,000. Okay, now so the entry price, this price here, that's actually the entry price where we're going to put our figure 1.76117. All right, now where you have this red line, this particular space on the left, that is where you're going to be putting your stop loss point. Okay, so what is the stop loss we have in the stop loss is at 1.76252. 1.76252. Okay, so let's say for example you are you've decided to take your profit at at the TP1, that's the take profit point one. So if you're taking your profit at 1.75554, so you just simply just put it at one point, okay, triple five seven five seven triple five four. All right, just because this is actually a weekend, that is why your the place button is not actually active right now. So immediately the place button is going to be active. You simply just have to click place. So when price comes back to this price, okay, when price comes back to this price, it will pick your order, and of course you just allow the market to do the rest. All right, so that is basically how to use the information you know from this kind of setups. When we use and this kind of information, this is what you use to really to plan your trade, to how to really use the information to really plan your trade. So let me just go back to my FX book. So let's say for example you have you are trading $100 accounts, for example. So that's exactly what you're going to put in there. All right, $100 account, if what you have is $100 in your account, in your trading account, now you just put $100 in your account size. All right, then your stop loss remains 13 pips, because that is the information we have now. Of course, if I don't see any reason why someone who probably does not really have you know all of the money to really fall back on, to actually be risking 25%, because if you leave it at 25, it's going to be 25% of that account. Well, if you want to do that, all well and good, but I'll rather say that that is really very that would be very very risky. Yes, it's going to be really very risky, because basically you just need about four losing trades, consecutive losing trades, to really lose all of that account, and you don't want to really do that. So what do? We always say that, okay, fine, risk on the maximum, probably 2 or 3% of that account, if it is actually a small account. Okay, 2 to 3 um percent. But if it's a big account, anything from like 5,000, risk only 0.5%. Just be conservative. Okay, be conservative. And of course, it's actually a choice also. It's also a choice, if you really want to be aggressive. But if you're conservative, there's every possibility that you are going to be in this market for a longer period. So let's say, for example, you're risking 2% of this. So $2, 2% of 100 is going to be $2. Probably, or you just decide, okay, fine, let's just put the money. Okay, this is risk ratio. If I tap this again, it's going to switch to money. So if that is what you understand, like, if you like to calculate your risk in terms of money, just leave the swap, just leave the swap at money USD. Okay, just leave it as money USD. So whatever amount in money, in dollars, you want to risk, that is what you're going to put there. All right, so that is basically how to to really impute those information. Then after that, you are going to click calculate, and here your lot size for this trade is going to be 0.02. So if you go back to MetaTrader 4, then it now is okay, you are changing your lot size to 0.02. Okay, and you know every other information will remain right there. So it's just as simple as that. So you only need these two applications to really plan your trade. You need your MyFX book or FX hours, or and you need MetaTrader 4, my FX book or FX hours, or yeah, sorry, my FX book or FX hours, and MetaTrader 4. Okay, you use my FX book to to calculate your lot size, and use MetaTrader 4 for the actual trading. So that is all about that in this tutorial. I'm going to see you in the next one.